Well, here we are. We're in August and it's 2019. Um, this month is the 50th anniversary of one of the best rock festivals, in my opinion, uh, to happen, at least here in the States, um, Woodstock. And it turns 50 years old. Put on my Woodstock t shirt, 3 days of peace and music. And let me just give you a little brief. I got some Woodstock memorabilia, like at least two things I know that's vintage, and a few other things that I have. I watched the movie yesterday and sat back and I watch it every year. Every year around August, I watch Woodstock, and I enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. Yesterday, watched it all the way through, first disc and the second disc, the director's cut. And this has, I believe, only two people on here was Janis Joplin, I believe, John Sebastian. Those were the ones that uh, those were the ones that you didn't see. And the this is since this being the director's cut. Now I don't know if there's any other box set that has the other stuff in it. It may have more groups that are on there and stuff because not as far as I think Grateful Dead, they didn't play a good set from what I hear. Janis Joplin's set wasn't all that good either. But it was a great movie. I watch it every year. Gets me into that for the whole month. I sit there and celebrate Woodstock. Um, Getting to what I have. Well, first, let me give you a little brief thing about how Woodstock became so important to me. Um, First, me being a Beatles fan, I'm from the age of 11 all the way up until I watched Woodstock. I mean, I'm still a Beatles fan, but I'm just saying Woodstock was like a gateway to other bands. Like they say, marijuana is a gateway drug. Well, Woodstock was a gateway to tons of other bands to explore. I mean, I loved the Beatles, and I was really into the Beatles. I took the Beatles by step too. I didn't get in. I didn't sit there and get into the Beatles of listening to the White Album first, or what. I went pretty much and by Please Please Me on down because my friend he was getting the albums at the time. I couldn't afford them, but he was getting them at the time, and we just went throughout the Beatle catalog from beginning all the way to the end. But when I was at the age of 14 is when I first saw Woodstock. My dad and my stepmom was like, we're going to watch Woodstock tonight. You want to watch it with us? I said, what's Woodstock? She said, it's the biggest rock festival ever. And I said, well, who played that? I said, the Beatles wasn't there. She goes, I didn't know anything about it. She goes, no, the Beatles wasn't there. She goes, but Jimi Hendrix? I said, who's Jimi Hendrix? So I heard of that name before. And she said, oh, he's like the best rock guitarist, And then she started saying Santana and Janis Joplin. I said, oh, man. I said, okay. So it was on PBS. So I stayed up, and we stayed up, and they went to sleep, of course. And I kept on before they went to sleep. I think Santana was playing before she fell asleep. And she said, I said, I was like, so when is Jimi Hendrix? She goes, he's coming. He's coming. I think he's at the end. And I saw Santana. I was like, oh, this band is good. This band is great. I said, and I just watched the movie and the hippies and stuff. I was like, wow. And then I saw Hendrix and it just blew me away totally. I was like, oh wow, this is fantastic. But anyway, that's how I got to watch, start really enjoying Woodstock. I was really like really into it. But starting with my first vintage item of Woodstock is this program right here. This is the original program that was put out. This is the copyright on this is I believe 1970. Yeah, because this movie was released, of course. Yeah, this is 1970. 1970, and this is the Woodstock movie program book. Crowd on the back. Then there's the course. That's the cover of the album. With them the people bathing. And they were always thought was cool. I was like, wow, that concert was been really something to be at. Now this is delicate. I'm gonna show you a few things in it, because it's kind of splitting at the end, so I don't want to open it up all the way. But yeah, that's cool. And then there's some other pictures I know I don't really want really awkward. Said just pictures of, I guess, them working on the stage at night. I think that's Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Good dude. Richie Havens. I was really getting into that yesterday when I was listening to Richie Havens play. That's the big photo aerial of the crowd. Those guys, they're walking in the rain. Oh, just a little added attraction. And that's the front cover of the program, the Woodstock program, which I have. But it's not original. It's a reproduction. I'm going to show you that after this. This is a picture. It's the centerfold is a bunch of picture of a bunch of hippies and their naked and stuff. I don't want to show that. Joe Cocker. And there's, of course, that's the famous picture of the couple that are still together. Santana. The Who. Boom, boom, see me. Every time I look at that picture, I feel me. Pinball Wizard. 10 years after. Another great band. Just them chilling, watching the concert. A lot of great artwork in these, you know. Sly the Family Stone. Jimi Hendrix. So, this is the movie book. Like I said, program. This is what you got, I guess, when you went to go see the movie. You could purchase this. Nice to have. Next, this is a reproduction. This is the original. This is what it looks like. This is what it would look like. The original Woodstock program that they gave out when you went to the festival. Flyer says 3 days of peace and music. Then it has, I guess some hexagrams. So I guess some advertisement on the back of it. But then it has the exposition, little Woodstock Music and Art Fair. And this is pretty cool to this because I don't want to rip it. This is like that film paper. Advertisements, RCA. This has, what is this? Joan Baez. I'll be looking at other people when they show stuff. Janis Joplin and The Who. And how awkward it is. I really like to show things and make sure you Critters. The band. Sly Stone. Of course, Grateful Dead. All these pictures are, just pictures of the groups, advertising the groups. And then in the Woodstock movie book, you got to see what they wore actually at Woodstock, of course, because they're taking this, But this is, oh, okay, you're going through the program. Oh, this group's going to be here. This group's going to be here. Jimi Hendrix. I'm trying to look. The pictures don't look all interesting. It's just mostly advertisements. Ravi Shankar, Joan Baez again, John Sinclair. They got. And just other little stuff. But all in all, a good reproduction. And from what I hear, these reproductions are starting to get hard to get now. Like go on eBay and try to find them. And, you know, the reproduction ones, because the people want the original for the original prices for the programs are ridiculous. Okay, this is a box set of the records, the vinyl. This is 180 gram vinyl. And it's a 5 record set. It's Woodstock 1 and Woodstock 2. And this is the 25th anniversary edition. And that's a cool because it's like a picture on there. It's a little picture of the aerial. And you get a booklet in this. Nice booklet. Good hard cardstock. I think I got this like 6 years ago. And let's see. The Who. Nice big picture of the Who. Pete Townsend. Roger Daltrey. Joe Cocker. Joan Baez. 10 years Alvin Lee. 10 years after. Okay, come on. Richie Havens. The band. Maxie Asger. He's talking to him. Sly Stone, Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young, Mountain. Jefferson Airplane. Just cool pictures of people at the concert. Yeah. Santana. Nice shot of Santana and Jimi Hendrix. And then there's John Sebastian. And I think this is Melanie. Yeah, Melanie. So that's the booklet. And here's the vinyl. Nice 180 gram vinyl. Opens up just like, the aerial. Nice big aerial shot view. And then there's the other view side of them bathing, hippies bathing. And it's all on, I'm just going to take one record out. It's all on, probably Dusty Collision. Cotillion, I think. Yeah. Cotillion. So. That's Woodstock. That's the first one. And the sound quality on this is because this is from the original analog tapes. The sound quality on it is okay, but see, because I kept the Woodstock 40th. No, it's the 40th. I'm sorry, it's the 40th anniversary 5 LP set. Woodstock music and from the original soundtrack and more, and Woodstock 2, the chart-topping multi-platinum and follow-up soundtracks to the Oscar-winning film Woodstock, cut from the original analog master. Its package includes a 20-page oversized 12 by 12 photo book. Okay, so it's the 4th anniversary. I'm sorry. This is Woodstock 2. and it has that matte feel to it. It's the same as the way Woodstock, because I used to have the original to this, but it's the same, that same matte feel, and it's on, you know, the same label. So, guys, like that. Some guys eating that watermelon at the end of the show. It's in on there. I always thought this was cool how they did it like that. It's like that whole big field, and they just people, how the people were all out there. Guys sitting there drinking big old bottle of wine or whatever. Woodstock 3 days, and this contains one whole side of Jimi Hendrix. You know, back in the day, I'm not going to take a record out of it because it's the same thing. But back in the day, this was actually, and it says so in Jimi Hendrix, "Excuse Me While I Kiss the Sky" book. When I read that book, you know, they said, but the difficult to obtain Woodstock 2 contains an entire side of their work, talking about the Gypsy Suns and Rainbows performance um, at Woodstock. You know, because I was like, oh, Woodstock 2. I've never seen that. You know, I only seen Woodstock. So finally, back in the day, way back in the late 80s, I was in a record store and they had it. I said, oh, Woodstock 2 right here. It's not that hard to, man, it's everywhere, you know. But back in the day, I guess it was kind of hard because it may have been out of print and, you know, whatnot. But that's my Woodstock collection. As far as in, one more thing. I forgot. One more vintage item. So I have two vintage items. I have the movie book, that's vintage. And then one last thing. This is the original Woodstock poster. I put it in this frame. I keep it in my closet because I don't have no space for it. But I took it out because I want, you know, just to show it. But this is the collage. This is the Woodstock We Are One poster. I forget what year this was, probably released in 1970. I'm guessing that's 70 when it was released. But it's a big collage. And every time I look at this, I find something different on this collage. Every time I look at it, there's some different. Oh, I ain't never seen that picture before. I wonder why they put it in this yellow tint, though. You know, it would have been cool if it was just color, but hey, it is what it is. But that's it. And you know, as far as in I'm glad they didn't have that concert. I didn't like really any of the performers or performing at that concert they're going to do. So I'm glad they scrapped it. I do know that they said they're going to put out more material of the concert as far as in music wise, and it's going to be a big box set. So I've heard that. So I have to look that up again. I'm going to have to Google that after this you know, this right here. So anyway, I know it's been a long video, and thank you for watching. And I'm getting ready for August the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th, and celebrate Woodstock. You know, kick back, do whatever. You smoke, have you a drink, kick back, put on some Woodstock, Jimi Hendrix, or wherever it may be, and enjoy. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like my channel, or hit like, or subscribe to one of the other two. See you soon.